What if you could steal the exact blueprint used by the world's youngest billionaires? I'm talking about people who built billion-dollar empires before turning 30 and did it without waiting for luck, money, or permission. In this video, I'm breaking down the real secrets they used so you can apply them to your own hustle, starting today. Because the fastest way to grow is to learn from those who already did it and rise to riches. When you think of billionaires, you probably picture someone older, in a suit, running a massive company. But that image is outdated. In the last decade, a new wave of billionaires has emerged, and they look a lot more like you, people in their teens and 20s, building wealth through tech, social media, innovation, and speed. They didn't wait for someone to fund them. They didn't follow a traditional path, and they definitely didn't play it safe. The truth is, these young billionaires didn't have some secret advantage. They just saw things differently and acted on it faster. And while you may not want a billion-dollar company, you do want the freedom, leverage, and control that comes from building something real. So, in this video, we're breaking down exactly what these young billionaires did, step by step, so you can start thinking and building like them. The youngest billionaires didn't just chase trends, they solved real problems fast. Think about Zuckerberg building Facebook because college students needed a better way to connect. Or Palmer Luckey inventing the Oculus Rift because gamers wanted deeper, more immersive experiences. They weren't trying to look smart, they were trying to fix something that mattered. And that's your first big lesson. You don't need a revolutionary idea, you need a relevant one. Start by looking around. What do people complain about? What do they wish existed? What would make their life easier, faster, or cheaper? If you can solve that, even in a small way, people will pay attention. You don't need to be original. You need to be useful, because real money follows real solutions, not noise. Young billionaires don't build slow manual businesses. They use technology to scale fast, whether it's software, social media, e-commerce, or automation. They pick tools that multiply their reach without multiplying their effort. Zuckerberg used code. Kylie Jenner used Instagram. Vitalik used blockchain. Different tools, same strategy. Build once, impact millions. The takeaway: you don't need to invent new tech. You need to leverage it. Start asking, how can I automate this? How can I deliver this digitally? How can I reach more people without working more hours? Free platforms, AI tools, digital products, content, they all let you move smarter, not harder. And if you're not using technology in your hustle, you're falling behind, even before you start. So think like a builder, but scale like a billionaire. Services are great, but they're limited by time. Young billionaires figured this out early. So instead of trading hours, they built products, things that could sell 24/7. Mark sold code. Kylie sold cosmetics. Vitalik launched a token. What do they all have in common? They created something people could buy, without needing them to show up every time. That's the power of product-based thinking. It could be physical, like merch, skincare, or gadgets, or digital, like templates, apps, courses, or content. The key is, build once, sell repeatedly. Even if you start as a freelancer or service provider, think, how can I turn what I do into a product? Package your process. Record your expertise. Systemize your offer. Because billionaires don't just work, they multiply their value through products. Here's something almost every young billionaire has in common. They didn't bounce from idea to idea. They locked in on one thing and obsessed over it until it worked. Zuck focused on Facebook. Kylie focused on her beauty line. Austin Russell locked in on LiDAR tech for years before the world caught on. They weren't distracted by trends, new opportunities, or shiny ideas every week. They went deep, not wide. That's your move. Pick one idea, one problem, one offer, and give it 6 to 12 months of focused execution. Not dabbling, not multitasking. Focus, because mastery comes from commitment, not constant change. If you keep switching lanes, you'll never build enough momentum to win. So choose your lane, double down, and give it a real chance to succeed. Young billionaires understood something powerful early on. You don't have to do everything yourself. In fact, trying to do it all slows you down. They built teams, found co-founders, hired freelancers, raised capital, or partnered with people who had what they didn't. Zuck had coding skills, but brought in Sheryl Sandberg to run the business side. Kylie had brand power, but partnered with a manufacturer to handle production and distribution. You don't need to be the best at everything. You need to know what you're great at and find people to cover the rest. Same goes for money. You can launch with sweat equity. But if you need capital later, learn how to pitch, collaborate, or fundraise smart. The bottom line, billionaires build with others. So stop trying to be the whole machine and start assembling your engine. If there's one trait every young billionaire shares, it's this: they didn't wait to feel ready. Most people overthink, overplan, and overprepare until the moment passes. But the billionaires, they launched, learned, and leveled up on the go. Zuckerberg started Facebook in a dorm room. Palmer Luckey built Oculus in a garage at 19. Kylie didn't wait for business school. She used her audience and moved fast. They made imperfect moves, but took perfect action. And here's the key: clarity comes from doing, not thinking. You don't need all the answers. You don't need a perfect logo, a business plan, or a million followers. You need one thing: motion. Because the sooner you start, the faster you get feedback. And the quicker you grow. So don't wait until it's safe. Build while it's messy. Start before you're ready. Young billionaires didn't just chase high paychecks. They chased ownership. Because income pays the bills. But ownership builds empires. Owning a product, a brand, an audience, or even equity in something bigger. That's what creates long-term wealth. Zuck owned Facebook, not just worked for it. Kylie owned her brand and sold part of it for hundreds of millions. Even content creators today are building equity in platforms, products, and licensing. So here's the mindset shift. Stop thinking, how much can I earn this month? Start asking, what can I build that grows over time? Even if you start small, a digital product, a website, a brand name, build something yours. Because when you own it, you control it, you scale it, you sell it. And most importantly, you keep getting paid long after the work is done. Most people treat failure like the end of the story. Young billionaires, they treat it like the beginning of the next level. Every setback equals feedback. Every flop equals data. They expect things to go wrong, and they use those moments to pivot, learn, and grow faster than everyone else. Zuck made mistakes with privacy. Kylie faced criticism about product quality. Dozens of young founders launched projects that bombed before hitting gold, but none of them stopped. They just adjusted and kept building. You need to think the same way. Failure isn't a flaw in your system. It is the system. Start normalizing it. Start looking for the lesson. And most of all, stop making it personal. Because failure doesn't define you. It sharpens you. While most people chase quick wins, young billionaires play long-term games. They think in years, not weeks. They're not chasing trends for clout. They're building foundations that grow in value over time. Brands, platforms, networks, IP. Why? Because long-term plays compound. Effort stacks. Reputation builds. Results multiply. Zuckerberg didn't sell early. Kylie scaled her brand before cashing out. Many stayed consistent for years before their breakout moment. Meanwhile, the average person gives up after 2 bad weeks. If you want to win like they do, zoom out. Ask yourself, if I stick with this for 2 years, where could it take me? Then make your decisions from that mindset. Because the biggest moves don't come from hustle alone. They come from patience with purpose. So stay in the game long enough to actually win it. One of the most underrated billionaire moves. Reinvention. The world's youngest billionaires didn't stay stuck in one version of themselves. They evolved constantly. Zuck went from dorm room coder to CEO of a global empire. Kylie shifted from influencer to full-blown business mogul. Others pivoted industries, rebranded, rebuilt, and kept leveling up. Why does that matter? Because the game changes, and so must you. The offer that worked last year might flop tomorrow. The platform you dominate today could disappear next week. You have to be willing to adapt fast, drop what's outdated, and step into new versions of your potential. This isn't about chasing trends. It's about becoming the kind of person who can grow with the game. So don't cling to your current version. Be ready to upgrade, over and over again. None of these young billionaires had it all figured out from day one. What they had was vision, urgency, and the guts to move, even when it wasn't perfect. You don't need a billion-dollar idea right now. You need a billionaire mindset and the discipline to take action before you feel ready. Because success doesn't come to the smartest, it comes to the most consistent. And it starts with your next decision. If this video sparked something in you, a new idea, a mindset shift, or just a reminder of what's possible, hit that like button, subscribe to Rise to Riches, and drop a comment. What's one billionaire habit or move you're going to copy this week? Remember, you just need to think bold, act fast, and rise to riches.